Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Vincent, it's
all
nice to
right.
see you.
You too. You too. Good evening. You're in New Mexico, correct?
I am. I'm in northern New Mexico. I'm a little bit outside of Angel Fire, out in the sticks. It's a lot like The Shining, if you will, out here.
Oh, wow. Like a desert shining.
Well, no, it's actually pine trees. We're right on the border of Colorado, so we're in a ski resort town, and it's cool. It's a great way to live out here.
Well, that shows how much I know.
I
I'm
guess
from,
so.
I'm from Florida, so my picture of the Southwest is probably very different than it actually is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Boy, gotta love Florida, though.
Yes, yeah. I'm actually in Minneapolis now. I guess I travel all over the place, but
Absolutely, absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm very excited about this interview, and I'd like to get this information out about Ape versus Monster for your viewers and your followers. And yeah, let's get this going. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, I would love to stop talking and turn the reins over to you and tell us what the movie's all about and your role in it, and just kind of the you know the 411, if you will.
Absolutely, absolutely. I liked what you said. You said that it's a mockbuster, which it is, and I love that you said that it stays in its own lane and kind of knows what it is, and it does do that. Absolutely.
Hmm.
But at its heart, at its soul, Ape versus Monster is a kaiju film. That's what it is. And, is it similar to another film out there right now? Yes, absolutely it is. It's very similar. But like I said, it's got its own heart, it's got its own soul, and it's just a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to work on. And I played Captain James Sow, who is a special recon guy who's tasked with finding and destroying the ape of
Hmm.
the duo. And unfortunately, that doesn't work out too well for me. But yeah, I play a military person in the film, and we had a great time making it.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna say this to everybody. Spoiler alert. I don't want to beat around the bush. I think it's a great moment. If to those out there, would you mind explaining in your own words how your character meets his demise?
Oh man, what's interesting about my death scene is that that's not how it was scripted. In the
Oh.
script, that the ape actually picks me up like a doll and bites my head off. And when I read that in the script, I knew I had to be a part of it. I went, wow, this is so over the top that this is just going to be so much fun to make. But it changed a little bit, as I'm sure you saw when you watched the film. I actually throw a grenade or an explosive device at the monster, which only makes it angry. And it ends up taking out my team and picks me up and literally tears me in half, man. And it's so cool to see that because I really had no idea. I had no idea what was going to be going on in the film whatsoever. I knew what I was acting. I knew what I was reacting to pretty much,
Hmm.
but I had no idea that I was being torn apart like that until I actually saw the film. It was really cool.
Yeah, a lot of questions there. Like, you see the finished product,
Hmm.
and I guess you have no idea. You have an idea of how you're going to meet your demise.
Right.
I mean, what's the reaction? Are you watching it with your friends, with your castmates, your family, and what's
With
their
my
reaction?
with my family, actually, we didn't have an opportunity to have a wrap party or even a premiere because of all the COVID restrictions. I
Mhm.
mean, we were very lucky to be working at all in this current, climate in the world because of COVID. So we had to have a lot of, testing done and things like that. We couldn't be in too large of groups. Everybody had to have masks on. So unfortunately, we weren't able to view it together,
Mhm.
but I did sit and watch it with my wife when it finally released. So, she's my partner and my movie watching buddy. So it was good to watch it with her. Yeah.
Was she sad or was she like, yeah, that's how you would die? Let's do it.
She was definitely as surprised as I was when I was torn in half by a giant ape. Yes, it blew us both away.
I suppose. So you read this in the screenplay. Are
Mhm.
you sent it to? Does your agent send this to you, or how does this come about?
I actually found this one on my own. I'm friends with a guy here in town that does casting, and I just saw something come across his feed, and then looking for somebody that was roughly my description
Hmm.
and roughly my background, and I went ahead and submitted for it. And honestly, I didn't know what I was submitting for until I got the role. which was really cool. You know, I knew it was military of some sort because I had some sides that they sent me that I actually recorded right here in this room.
Oh,
But I didn't know that it was a kaiju film. I didn't know it was monsters. I didn't know I was getting ripped in half by an ape. I didn't know any of this, and I was just really excited to find that out when I did get the part.
that's so cool. I mean,
It was.
I don't know. This may be the closest I ever get to being in one of these movies because I would just do anything to be in a movie like that. So
Oh,
good.
absolutely, absolutely. Me too. I have a big soft spot in my heart and a large interest in horror films of any kind, and specifically kaiju films, believe it or not. So I was very lucky to get onto this project the way that I did.
That's awesome. Well, like, have you done any other projects in this vein or horror films, science fiction, anything like that?
I haven't. I haven't. You know, I seem to always play military personnel,
Hmm.
cops.
Yeah.
I'm working on a project right now where I play a father figure to the main character on an Amazon Prime series. We're working on that right now. We film in June.
Nice.
So, but no, I don't often get the chance to kind of dip my toes into the genres of science fiction or kaiju for that matter. And I was very lucky to do so. And I hope that I get more opportunities like that in the future.
Totally. I mean, if there's any way to get your foot in the door, this would be the way to do it.
Oh, 100%, man. And you know, what I have found from working on this film is that there is nothing better than a kaiju fan. The
Mm,
fan base for kaiju films
mm.
are just some incredible people out there, you know, and they're just so interested and so into it into every aspect. And I'm very lucky to have a part of that community, is what it is.
That I know exactly what you mean. So
Mhm.
like I said in my intro, I started this to connect with that fan base. You know,
Yes,
God
sir.
bless the internet. You can be a part of these communities, and I know exactly what you mean. Like I have the most intense, nerdy conversations with people about the most inane things about like this one particular point in this one movie. And I love it. I just love that passion
Absolutely.
that you're talking about.
Absolutely. You know, I had a family member of mine turn me on to kaiju films when I was very young in the early 80s. And it was oh man, it was the Rubber Suit Godzilla films that he started getting me into. It was the 1960s, 1970s Godzilla films,
Yeah.
and specifically Godzilla versus Megalon, the
Oh
giant
man.
cockroach. It was just so good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it inspired me for a long time. It really shaped my taste in films.
Hmm.
And you know, after that, I started getting into the horror genre and things like that. But kaiju was like the first, man.
Yeah.
Especially the American incarnations of kaiju, at the right about the same time, about the mid '50s, you were getting them, which is filmed here in New Mexico, the giant ants,
Yep.
and Attack of the Crab Monsters, which I believe was 1956. It's just amazing
And you
movies,
love
you know
those
what I
titles.
mean? And I love revisiting them. I actually have kaiju posters on the walls of my home theater.
Amazing.
It's great.
I just told my wife about this movie from the 50s called Attack of the 50-Foot Woman.
Oh, it's gold.
I've
It's
never
gold through
seen
and
it.
through.
Like it's on my watch list for the summer. I've drawn up a whole list of
Yep,
50
absolutely.
movies. Uh,
Absolutely. And you know, one of the best parts about those films from the 50s, uh, those creature features from the 50s, is the posters. The
yeah.
posters are such, each one is a work of art in its own right. You know, with the colors that they use and the bombastic
Yeah.
phrases like teenagers from Mars and things like that. It's just so cool.
So
Just so
over
cool.
the top.
Absolutely.
So like
So I,
even if, and that's what Ape versus Monster is to me. It's
mhm.
like okay, it's not the like the best movie ever, but
I will admit to that. Yes.
but it scratches the itch so well. That's like
Mhm.
but it does it well too. It's not boring. It's
Agree.
not um so over the top that you're like, oh, okay, come on. I think
Agree.
I think it moves really fast. I think the military stuff is like fun military people
Definitely.
talking to each other, and then and then the monsters themselves. I mean, what did you think about the effects that brought these creatures to life?
And you know what? Quite frankly, I was blown away because we were working on a shoestring budget, so I had no idea what to expect. I mean, quite honestly, we were using more practical effects
Mm,
than actually got into the movie. We actually had an ape mitt that would reach out and grab people
Wow.
that didn't even make it into the film. So I didn't know what to expect, really. When I saw the CG, I mean, is it top tier CG? No, it's not. But when you see what kind of budget we were working with, that was a miracle. It was an
Absolutely.
absolute miracle, and it looked great,
Yeah.
and it flowed well. And no, I was very, very pleased when I saw the quality of CG that we were using there.
Well,
You
good.
know, kudos to the Asylum on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's great to hear from you. I totally agree. I've only, I mean, Sharknado, I feel like was so long ago, but
It was.
I saw another Asylum movie. I didn't even know what I was watching that is from the Asylum, but it was called Atlantic Rim. And it's
Oh, yeah.
a mockbuster, Pacific Rim.
Oh, Pacific Rim, yes, sir.
Yeah. And, you know, I had a good time with that one. But in terms of the special effects and the CG, Ape vs. Monster, I mean, the Asylum has come a long way, I would say, in
I agree. I agree.
portraying their monsters.
And, you know, being a kaiju fan, you only have so many options, you know, because for the top tier kaiju films, you're going to be waiting a really long time. You're looking at years in between big budget films to add to your collection. And then you can only rewatch the classic ones so many times. I mean, let's get real here. So to have some new lifeblood pumped into that kaiju genre from time to time, even if it's a little lower budget, even if it's a little lower quality, like you said, it kind of scratches an itch that you may have, and it definitely serves its purpose, you know?
Yes, and I think the Asylum does that for sure.
Absolutely.
So I watched Atlantic Rim. I watched it via the Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, gotta love it.
And
I have to see that.
Yeah, and like I loved Ape vs. Monster on its own right.
Sure.
But as I was watching, I was thinking, this is prime Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, man, I cannot wait. And in fact, I'm going to write an email as soon as we're out of here. It's great to be a part of Ape vs. Monster and a part of the Asylum, but to be a part of Mystery Science Theater, oh, man, that's a whole nother level right there.
You could be the one they make jokes about. What an honor. Like, put that feather in your cap.
I can't wait.
I was curious about the shooting schedule because like you say, you could wait years sometimes for these movies. And Godzilla versus Kong, for instance, it kept seeing delay after delay after delay.
Absolutely.
And with your movie, did you film last year during the pandemic, or was it before everything went down?
It was this was only a couple months ago that we filmed this.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. You know, yeah, but like any other production that's going to hit snags, and it did. It was supposed to release and coincide with the release of, you know, Godzilla versus Kong. But unfortunately, we didn't hit that mark because of the holdups that we had. And man, you're always going to have them. When you're making movies, you're always going to have hangups, regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, we shot it in a very short amount of time in Albuquerque, predominantly. And I know that we filmed at the Manal School. I don't know if you're at all familiar with Albuquerque. We filmed at the Manal School and some outdoor locations off the 40. Okay. But we were in there and out of there, man. We got it in, we got it out, and it hit production. And I can't believe it's already out right now, to tell you the truth. But I think they did a really good job with the short amount of time that they were working with.
Yeah, and it's available on streaming, obviously. And I'm just curious, with a movie like this, does it ever see a theatrical run at all?
I don't believe it does.
Okay.
I don't believe it does. No, unless it's a very small theater that's into cult classics. They do exist. Yeah. We've got one right here on University, I believe, in Albuquerque. But no, I doubt if it's going to be in any theaters. I believe it's on Redbox. It may be in the Redbox consoles as well. I think we've got it on Amazon Prime. Yep. You know, all the usual suspects.
Yeah, totally.
For distribution. Yeah.
And you know what? I don't think a movie needs to hit theaters anyways to meet success these days.
No.
Personally.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Sorry, Case, I have a question in the chat. Were there any deleted scenes that you know of? And might we see them one day?
You know, there's a scene that I'm not sure if it made it into the film, because when my team is kind of torn apart by the ape, it happens so quickly. It's such a quick little montage. It's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this interesting story about Gary Choi and the Rising Star stunt team, these total professional stuntmen we had on the film. This guy, one of the stuntmen, is standing about 8 feet above a stream on one of our outdoor shots. You know, he's in his camo gear. He's standing there with his mock AR-15. And the director Daniel Lusko walks up to him and goes, "Hey, man, I think it's really going to work for the film if you do a flip into that stream." And I tell you what, man, this guy didn't even stop to consider his own safety. He did a full front flip and landed on his back in that water and looked up at the director and said, "Was that good?"
Oh my God.
Professionalism to the core. I couldn't believe my eyes, man.
Wow.
That guy just, I mean, what a professional.
So you don't do your own stunts?
No, not like that. Not like that. I'll do some running and jumping, you know, but I'm not going to do a flip off an 8-foot ledge. No.
I totally hear you.
You know, there's another interesting thing that happened on set. If you recall, I have a grenade and I throw that grenade at the ape.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it comes time to film this scene, it's a pretty pivotal scene. It's what pisses him off. It's what kills my, you know, causes him to kill my team and myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we look around, go, "Okay, where's the grenade?" The prop guy goes, "I don't have a grenade." Oh, no, we don't have a grenade. So what are we going to do here? If you look close enough at the film, next time you're watching it, it's a magazine.
Oh, okay.
It's a magazine from a pistol. We had to make do with a magazine from a pistol and hide it as best I could in my hand as I threw it at the ape. And I wasn't able to tell, so I think it came out pretty good.
I didn't notice. I love that. I love stuff like that where
Me too. Me too, yeah.
You're making what to most people is, I mean, it's a major feature length motion picture, and it,
Sure.
you know, people would kill to be in a movie like that, and yet here
Absolutely.
you are still just having fun as if, because like I've made movies with my friends and we've had moments like that where it's like, oh, we forgot the grenade.
Yep.
Let's just hide something else in our hand and chuck that instead.
Absolutely. That's part of making films, man, right there.
Yeah, that's great.
Yep. Absolutely.
Another question I see, are you team ape or team monster in your movie?
Wow, that's an interesting one. I'd have to say I'm Team Ape because I'm so close to him in the film, and I actually have some scenes with him in Langley as he's trying to escape, and he actually ends up tearing me in half like a doll. So I have to be Team Ape. I have no choice. I don't really have an association with the monster at all. So
that's
definitely
true.
Team Ape, 100%.
Even though
Team Ape all day, all day.
He kind of turns on you there at the end.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
So what like people, you want people to see this movie? What do you want them to come away from this thinking, feeling? What do you want out of this movie for people?
Fun. One word, fun. You know, because there's one thing that a big budget film can't necessarily deliver on its big budget alone, and that's fun and charm. And that's two things that this film has. It has fun and it's got charm. Is it a shoestring budget? Absolutely. But it's a fun film, you know, and if you're at all capable of enjoying film for the sake of film, then this film has something for you. If you're into kaiju, if you're into horror, if you're into action films, this film has something for you. So
I love
but if there's anything I want somebody to come away with, I want them to have fun with it and enjoy the film and have fun.
Absolutely. I love you adding charm in that too.
Absolutely. It's a very charming film.
Yeah, I think movies like this, like they need charm out the butt just to, you know, make it more of an experience.
That's more than the sum of its parts.
Yep, and Ape versus Monster checks all those boxes.
Yes, sir. I agree.
You have kids, correct?
I do. I have 2 kids. They're probably watching right now. Hi, Anna. Hi, Audrey.
Hey, great. Wave. Are they a fan of Ape versus Monster? Do you let them watch these movies?
I'll tell you what, they're a fan of Daddy. So whatever they see me in, they're a fan of. And they get to watch me as I run lines. You know, they come with me to rehearsals and things like that. They're part of the team. They're part of the support team, if you will. It's built into my family. So they play a big role in everything that I do. And so, yeah, I would definitely say that they're big fans of Ape versus Monster, yes.
All right.
Although I probably wouldn't allow them to watch all of them.
Maybe. Cover your eyes. This is where Daddy
goes. Yeah.
What can they catch you in next time? What do you got on the plate, on the front burner there?
You know, I've been talking to Daniel Lusko, the guy that directed this film, Ape versus Monster. He's also done some other projects for the Asylum. He's done Mommy Would Never Hurt You, did 500-mile-an-hour Storm. He's also working on a comedy called Churchaholics, which
Hmm.
is kind of in the same vein as The Office. It's supposed to be absolutely hilarious.
Okay.
He's got a CIA operative kind of thriller, kind of mind-bending kind of film coming out soon, called Quandary.
Okay.
And he's talking about casting me as a CIA agent in Quandary. And it seems like a really interesting project. I'm not sure exactly what he has in store for me on that quite yet,
Hmm.
but that's going to start production here very soon.
Awesome. In New Mexico, you think?
In New Mexico. In New Mexico and Los Angeles. I believe there's some shots in Hawaii as well.
All right. Well, congrats. I hope that goes really well for you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Case, before we wrap up here, where can we find out more info? Feel free to take this time and plug away.
Sure. Absolutely. You can find me in my IMDb page. You can take a look at the projects I've already been a part of. As you know, my name is Case Matthews, 2 T's.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Instagram at Case_Matthews. Once again, 2 T's. And I'm represented by the O Agency here in Albuquerque and Magna Talent in the Midwest. And that's about all for me, man. Come
All right.
follow me and keep an eye on what I'm up to.
Yeah, and we can catch you streaming in Ape versus Monster. It's such a
Right
good
now.
time.
Right now.
Right now, literally now.
Right now.
But this has been a lot of fun.
I agree.
It's been my pleasure to have you on here. I've never done this before. So thanks for being the first, and hey, maybe we'll have you on again sometime.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure and an honor, Vincent. It's great to see you in person. It's great to talk to you in person. And yeah, I would love to be a guest of yours again. I'll continue to follow you on Instagram and just keep doing what you do, brother. You're killing it.
All right. You got a lot of love in the chat too, sir. So you're doing
Great.
right. Take
Thank
care.
you, everybody. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah. Bye.
Great. Bye-bye.
Wow. Thank you, everybody, for being in this chat. That was Case Matthews. Throw it up in the chat for Case. Give me all your hearts and claps and whatever else you got. And do check out Ape versus Monster. It is charming. It is a hell of a time. And then talk about it. Like, engage with me, with Case. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, what you liked, what you didn't, what you found really campy. And just follow Camp Kaiju, and let's start talking monster movies, y'all. So thanks again, and I will see you next time on Camp Kaiju. All right, bye.